Who doesn't love a homemade blueberry muffin fresh from the oven? You will need the following ingredients: rolled oats, whole wheat flour, white flour, brown sugar, a stick of butter, 1 egg, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of vanilla, a half a cup of milk, and about a cup of fresh blueberries. Start by preheating your oven to 375 and preparing your muffin tin, and I've added 2 extra ramekins because this recipe makes just enough for really 8 large muffins. I'm going to spray them with a non-stick spray. I like to put them on a cookie sheet in case I have any spillover. Keeps my oven clean. Into a large mixing bowl, I've added a half a cup of rolled oats, 1 cup of white flour, 1 cup of whole wheat flour. To this, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and very, very important, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Preparing our wet ingredients, which we'll add next, which will be a half a cup of melted butter. That's 1 stick of butter, and I always prefer to use unsalted. You can use salted, but you'll need to adjust your salt addition for flavor. And to this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, because I just love the taste of vanilla, and about 1/4 cup of milk, which will just about fill this cup up to the 1 cup mark. Time to add your fresh blueberries. I'm just going to add them to the dry ingredients, kind of coat them with the flour. This will help to keep them from sinking to the bottom. If you add them after the ingredients are wet, sometimes they have a tendency to sink. Sometimes this supports them a little bit better. To this, you're going to add your egg, your milk, your vanilla, and your butter mixture. This will be your wet ingredients, and you're going to mix gently but thoroughly. This is where you're going to need to adjust your milk. You may need a little bit more. And on a muffin, you're looking for a light mix, but it's okay if it's a little bit lumpy. You don't want it wet, but you don't want it dry either. I still need to add a little bit more milk to this. So I would say in total, I've probably added about at least a half a cup of milk, even though my recipe calls for 1/4 cup. And you can see now it's all, the liquid is all incorporated. I think it still needs just a tad more liquid. So I'm just going to add a little bit more, another 1/4 cup. I don't know why this is so dry today. I think it's the oats that absorb all the extra milk moisture. That's the consistency I'm looking for. Like a wet cookie dough. Right, we're ready to fill our muffin tin, and I like these big oversized muffin. And I also like to use an ice cream scoop to fill with. I think it's just the right proportion. Before they go in the oven, I like to just kind of sprinkle the top of the muffins with a little bit of granulated sugar. It just gives a nice finish to them when they come out of the oven. Ready to go in the oven. They'll bake at 375 for about 25 to 30 minutes. Our muffins are coming out of the oven. They're absolutely beautiful. About 25 minutes in the oven. And voila, you have beautiful blueberry muffins.